This is Danny Flexen here for Seconds Out. Delighted to be joined by my SO Live compadre, Mr. Ayman Khan, with some breaking news and I guess our analysis on it as well. Ayman, I alerted you to the news not, half an hour ago, and we were looking to interview Frank Warren today. There was some talk from the PR company that worked with Queensberry about setting up some slots on Zoom. It didn't come to fruition. It's been pushed back to tomorrow, we're told. And we weren't really sure why. You said to me, what's Warren, so eager for? And I didn't know. And then it's burst out across social media. The video is there. Eddie Hearn, Frank Warren making their picks of the weight classes, the divisions for the 5 versus 5 show on June the 1st in Riyadh. Joined, of course, by Turki Al Sheikh. The 5 weight divisions have been announced. Well, I say 5. It's actually 4 because they didn't tell us. But a weight division can be named more than once, which I feel could have been useful information before this all took place. But maybe it's churlish to complain. I don't know how much you know about it, but what's your reaction, initial reaction to the weight classes?
Yeah, so I guess we now have our answer as to why Warren was so eager for it. Those things don't come up too often. Not that we were complaining at all for it,
No.
but yeah, we've got the news for it now. Obviously, that was pre-recorded and it was ready to let go once they got the green light, and the green light was today, Sunday, 24th of March. Excitement really, to be honest with you, across the weight categories. It's good that we're getting 2 unknown heavyweight fights. Heavyweights is the blue ribbon division, the one that makes the most sense when it comes to the eyes on the sport. So to get 2 of them where there's intrigue and unknown quantities to them is very much welcomed. There are little bits of clues when it comes to what things could be. I mean, you can kind of piece a couple of things together when you got your ears to the ground as to what those fights can be, especially when you look at featherweight as to what it could have been in terms of what was on the line had Nick Ball come through the test of Ray Vargas, as a lot of people thought he did, but it seemingly seems that Ray Ford will be on the other side of the equation when it comes to the Matchroom versus Queensberry Matchroom fight. So you can sort of put some pieces together. Be interesting whether any red herrings are put out there. There was what I think is a red herring of Anthony Joshua putting a social media post saying, I've got the call, I'm ready to fight. They give me the fight, the call for it. I think that's a bit red herring. I don't think he's going to be on that 5v5. But saying that, who better to be a Matchroom captain? If you're a captain, you pick up 2 points for this 5v5. So there's no better captain than Anthony Joshua when it comes to Matchroom.
Just seems like a bit of a waste to have Joshua on there, considering you've already got Bivol Beterbiev and this 5 versus 5. Joshua is obviously a massive headliner in his own right. I'm not ruling it out. If anyone could do that, it would be Turki Al Sheikh. But I think, as you said, it probably is a red herring. And the transfer window seems to be, doing a lot of heavy lifting for Matchroom and Eddie Hearn in this case. Certainly, if the 2 rumoured fights at the top of the bill are to be believed, Daniel Dubois against Hrgovic and Zhilei Zhang against Deontay Wilder, because obviously Zhang and Dubois are signed with Queensberry Promotions, but the other 2 fighters mentioned just there, as far as we know, are not currently contracted to Matchroom. So it could be that the transfer window is enabling Eddie Hearn to have these guys representing the brand, so to speak. But they are 2 really good fights. You would never expect to see 2 heavyweight clashes of that level, because you're looking at, 4 of the top 10 heavyweights in the world, it's probably fair to say, despite Zhang and Wilder's recent defeats. On the same bill as an undisputed light heavyweight title clash between 2 of the pound for pound top 10. It's absolutely crazy, but obviously in a good way. I think Dubois, he's wanted a chance for a long time. He's been the only one calling out Hrgovic, as much as Daniel Dubois ever calls out anyone, but it's certainly his team have said he's interested. Tough fight for him, I think, in terms of kind of experience and technical skills. I think it's one of the best, if not the best, that Dubois fought. And obviously we saw him fall short. Oh, sorry, I'm forgetting Usyk, of course. It would be the best Dubois beaten if he overcomes Hrgovic, is probably what I meant to say. And then you've got Zhang and Wilder. Wilder, this could be a last throw of the dice, as Dave Coldwell said to our colleague Josh Green, I think it was, over the weekend. If Wilder loses again, he's probably looking at retirement. So he'll come with everything he's got. Zhilei Zhang, we know, can be outworked. His conditioning can be found at fault and against certain opposition. Joseph Parker employed the perfect tactics to beat him. I'm not sure Wilder's got that sort of performance in him. So it'll be interesting to see how that works, because Zhang's so known kind of frailties on the durability side, and that's Wilder's get out of jail free card. But you mentioned the featherweight division there, and I've seen a lot of fans speculating online about Lee Wood representing Matchroom, but I don't think Lee Wood's ever coming back to featherweight. Prepared to have egg on my face, but I think he's up at super feather now. So I think it will be Ray Ford, and it could still be Nick Ball. You interviewed Ray Ford not that long ago, and he said he was still interested in the Nick Ball fight. Yeah. I think it's more whether they can both, well, more so Nick Ball, turn it around after that, pretty tough fight against Ray Vargas that he had not so long ago. But it's exciting. You've got the two heavyweights, the featherweight, and then the other two middleweight. Are we expecting Hamzah Sheeraz?
Hamzah Sheeraz versus Amma Williams. I think that's pretty much all but confirmed. Those, I think, in the industry know that's been the whispers around. No official confirmation, of course, but pretty much all but confirmed.
Yeah, so you've got that at middleweight, and then the other one's light heavyweight. And someone online was saying they're not sure why Eddie Hearn, because light heavyweight was the Matchroom pick, or one of them. So I'm not sure why Eddie Hearn's picked light heavyweight if Callum Smith's not fighting. So it'd be interesting to see. Craig Richards has been inactive, but he is, as far as we're aware, I think a free agent, but has worked predominantly with Matchroom. Any ideas on that, Scott? I've seen Willie Hutchinson potentially on the Warren side.
No, again, keeping my ear to the ground, I'm pretty certain that when it came to the light heavyweight side, there was actually a super middleweight who'd shown the interest of jumping up to light heavyweight for an anti-yard fight. That being Zach Parker, who was out recently against Tyrone Zoiga. Not the best of fights for him, but he came through it against Tyrone, and that will pave the way for the opportunity for him to take this fight against Craig Richards at light heavyweight. There was the feeling that maybe the Saudis had cooled off a little bit on Zach, but that might have reignited now, and he's got that fixture. Although, with Craig being a free agent, that maybe mean that could have a little bit of a play around, and someone else who's a free agent, or well, we don't really know what his situation is, but I know that he's looking to return back, and Eddie was talking to, I can't remember the name of the outlet, otherwise I'd appropriately credit it. However, Eddie was saying that Billy Joe Saunders was waiting a date, and he needs a date to get himself ready, but at what weight? Can he make that super middleweight weight? Will he try one at light heavyweight? So don't rule out Billy Joe Saunders in that mix too, but it's most likely going to be Craig Richards again, I know he's jumped to Shane McGuigan's gym, but featured a lot prominently from the Matchroom gym as well too. So another Matchroom feature there against most likely Zach Parker.
So if it's what we expect it to be, you've got 3 fights at pretty high world level, and then you've got 2 on the fringes of world level. And, Sheeraz is ready to make that jump. He's highly ranked already by the WBO. And then the fight you've just mentioned as well, Zach Parker, he's been up there in the WBO final eliminator and WBO #1 in the past. Zach Parker, of course, Craig Richards, he's been right up there as well in eliminators for world titles. He's challenged Dimitri Bivol as well in the past. So I'm sure they can get reacquainted in the fight week. But yeah, so it's a very high level, because I know a lot of people thought, and I'm among them, when Bivol Beterbiev was announced to be on the same show as this concept between Warren and Hearn, I very much thought, well, we can't expect too much in terms of the level of the Warren versus Hearn fights, because you've got an undisputed mega fight as the main event. But it looks like they've really delivered for what is essentially the undercard.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, you kind of worry that because that headline is such a much wanted, much anticipated fight that we've been waiting for ages, that maybe the undercard might not deliver, but it seems to be that all the stops have been put out for the inaugural. It appears to be that we're going to be getting another iteration of the 5 versus 5 in some form as well, and the other snippet of something happening in Wembley as well too, as an advert for the Riyadh season. So the delivery seems to be there. You also do have to get this over the line. So, and Matchroom have been a little bit unlucky with the Japanese tournament, which has seen a bit of a hitch. What happens if someone gets injured along the way? Does that fight completely fall through? Do they have substitutes in there as well too? So really, it's still quite precarious when it comes down to it. So it's not quite signed. It's signed and sealed, not quite delivered yet, but we can get excited about it.
And in the wider context, it might be out in Saudi Arabia, but it's decent times for us here in the UK. We could get Fury Usyk undisputed first in the 4-belt era at heavyweight, followed by 2 weeks later this mega card of like 6 really good fights on one show, including another undisputed clash. That's absolutely incredible.
It's unprecedented. It really is. I know it's become a bit of a meme to, credit Turki Al-Sheikh appropriately with what he's creating here. But the truth of the matter is, at least in my time, in my generation, and Danny, you crossed the same generation as me too, but obviously earlier, having been in boxing a lot longer than I have. But I can't remember a time where there's been so much money, so much want to make these fights. And I was thinking about this actually the other day. They're really kind of the best way I can coin this term is UFC-ifying boxing right now, where it doesn't matter about your record. Get those fights in, get those losses in, but get the fights announced quickly so the losses don't matter and the intrigue in the fights and the fighter is still there. I think that's what's happening. That's what makes it so exciting.
And they all have stakes because of this environment that's been created. The fact that you know a loss isn't the end, but a win puts you right back up in the top level mix. There's stakes on every fight, even if there's no belts on offer. And yeah, it's so exciting.
I'm just not sure though. I'm still a little bit uncertain as to whether we get Wilder versus Zhang, and with the history between Deontay Wilder and Matchroom and Eddie Hearn regards to an anti-Joshua fight, whether Wilder signing specifically for Matchroom is really a thing. Turki Al-Sheikh kind of said that when it came to that heavyweight fight that he put forward, it doesn't necessarily have to be a Matchroom fight or a Queensberry fight. You can pick from anyone. I don't know how that works with Top Rank or PBC or whatever it is as to how they're letting their heavyweights go and then representing another company. I'm not sure how that works there. But, you know, maybe the likes of someone like an Ajit Kabayel who impressed might be drafted in. Hrgovic, like we said as well, too, might more of a prominent fixture because he's been part of Matchroom cards in a co-pro deal with Wasserman. He's left Wasserman now, so maybe that kind of leaves the way for him to go with Matchroom solely. But yeah, a lot of interesting options there available. We're just hoping that with the excitement, you know, we get the fights that we're thinking of and not replacement fights, which you know, maybe let the air out the balloon a little bit.
Outside chance of Johnny Fisher representing Matchroom against Zhang, you know, Rockford Bull against Chinese Power. He loves the Chinese.
Be some step up if we can. I was trying to think of a pun right there, but I couldn't get it out quick enough.
Chinese Bosch against Chinese Power. I don't know, but yeah, we'll wait and see on that one. All right, well, we're all really excited. Let's get this video out so we can let everyone out there know. I mean, I imagine a lot of them have already seen the news, but it's good to have a bit of meat on the bone and some speculation about which specific fighters will be involved. And just so for people that are watching, we'll be discussing this at length alongside a number of other subjects tomorrow at the earlier time of 4 p.m. for the next edition of Seconds Out Live. Ayman and I will both be there.
Wicked, guys, and get your comments in as well too as the fights that you want to see on the Matchroom 5 versus 5 2, and you can pick whoever you want at heavyweight division apparently, so do it. Yeah, let us know what you want to see.
Be Turki Al-Sheikh for the day.
There you go.
Who wouldn't want that?